think with this note, I think we could have so many different questions from the audience. So please feel free to challenge our panelists. They're ready. They have their armor ready. So shoot difficult questions. And the more difficult question we have, you could win your prizes, your chances of winning could be higher. So who would have the first questions from the audience? 1, 2, here. Go ahead.
Good evening.
If you could start by introducing yourself and lowering your...
Okay. My name is Isa Abdul Ahad from Arabic Computer System. I've been in the Gulf 32 years working in the IT. It's a big challenge, definitely the digital transformation. My question to our colleague, did the message, digital transformation message, reach the society, the IT companies, the retailer, the business people? That's the message I want to hear, the response.
If I could repeat the question, did the message of the IT transformation or digital transfer reach to the society,
the business people,
and businesses and at scale? So,
and let's be transparent, because it happened 1 year ago. Our pre-sales start talking about digital transformation. We have to move, do business, and nobody understands digital transformation. Where we stand now? Okay, are we there? Are we 50%? Are we 20%? Where we stand? And let's be frank on that.
So, okay, frank is a priority. So the question is, did the community reach to what is IT transformations? And do we see value of it? Who would take this? Walid?
Okay, I've actually been reflecting on
what
is IT transformation.
And he says honest.
I will be very honest. Inshallah, I'm always honest. But there have been so many definitions, but I have a definition that tells you whether you really have transformed your IT or not. And this is based on what we do in IT today. So what do we do in IT today are around 4 main categories of activities. IT does business projects. So your business are asking you to deliver certain business projects. They do IT projects, okay? They manage operations, and they manage unplanned events. God forbid disasters or any failures or anything. Fundamentally, these are the 4 things that IT do today. If you are successful in delivering an IT transformation, you should maximize the effort you put on your business projects and minimize the effort you put on everything else, i.e. technical or IT projects, as well as operational effort, as well as managing or reducing the unplanned work. So on a very abstract level, if you want to measure how successful you are as an IT, you need to look at those 4 categories and see how much impact you have made by transforming your IT. So and the second question is, if I understood it correctly, and just I want to, being mindful of the time, to give also my colleagues the time to respond. I will do it offline, if you don't mind.
There is a video recording.
To avoid
this session will be broadcasted.
All right. So, being in realistic situations, I've only seen so far, IT have been realizing the benefit and the need of transformation when they are under pain or severe pressure from the business to deliver. I haven't seen yet, and this is to relate to your request to be honest, although there are a lot of those who are proactive in being ready, simply because they have not shown the business value to the CFO or to the IT. Keep in mind that when IT succeeds in delivering the message, they need to make sure that the CFO do not see them as a cost center. The CFO should if you're successful in promoting your value, the CFO will see you as a change agent, an enabler for the business. And not a lot of CFOs today see this. And IT only starts transforming when they are under pain or pressure. And I'll hand over to my colleagues because
Fadi, would
I don't
you
wanna...
share your honest experience?
Yeah, of course.
And I'm talking about this region because
In specific.
I actually travel across Africa, Middle East, and Turkey a lot every week. And I'm trying to be honest.
You always do.
Thank you.
Okay, so I might also have heard as well that part of the question was whether the message of transformation has been absorbed by the community as well,
Yeah.
and whether executives, I think, understand this message. And I think that's an important question. You know, the question whether to transform or not to transform, and you know, without necessarily oversimplifying this matter, is usually around, you know, time to value. So as a company, and this is what executives would be interested in, as a company, are we able to deliver value in a time frame that is acceptable by our customers, right? Because if the answer is no, most probably some competitor is
Taking advantage.
is gaining ground, right? And if the answer is yes, it means perhaps the reasons or the foundations of transformation are not there. So this is maybe one of the questions that executives look at. But again, it's also important to work with executives to understand, you know, the values of transformation to the overall organization. And we've realized that sometimes maybe we start with IT departments and maybe with more technical disciplines, you know, and we try to work with those entities to transform, because usually those guys feel the pain, or they're always feeling the pain, you know. So we usually work with those. And what is in many occasions missing is the executive umbrella on top of this. So one of the aspects that we try to work on is to run workshops with executives around transformation and highlighting the business value of transformation, and also highlighting the various approaches of transformation. So we never think of transformation as go and, you know, maybe the American term is boil the ocean approach, right? So transformation is a journey, and it's maybe best consumed in small pieces and in small steps.
So with this, it's not easy to transform. We need to do a lot of effort convincing the management and seeing the value of it, and we need to take it further by delivering workshops and understanding, so we could understand that.
Absolutely.
Well, look,
And
the only people who worry about IT transformation are people in IT. There's a very simple principle that you can apply. The simple principle is, as you transform this thing that you have into a service, did more people consume it? And crucially, was it easier for them to consume? Right? You look at the airline industry. You don't have to go back too far to realize how difficult it was to book an airline ticket. You look at how ridiculously easy it is now to book an airline ticket, right?
Absolutely.
So in the process of taking the thing that was an airline ticket and putting it in lines of code, the thing that we actually learned to do was remove the friction between the person consuming the airline ticket and the service provider of the airline ticket. So we might get tied up in knots about how we transform as IT. We're the only people who worry about it.
Absolutely.
The constituent people who consume the service, if what you did after the transformation is easier to consume than it was before, big tick, move on.
Absolutely. I mean, and also I could add this point to show how is the normal consumer. If you look at the example of Uber or Airbnb or even WhatsApp, there is even what we are holding in our hands. There is a major corporation went because they didn't transfer. And new companies who didn't hope and fear and ambitions and innovations become from nowhere to a major corporation. And I love this example by highlighting what WhatsApp did in the industry, how much WhatsApp been sold? It was sold for $19 billion. How many employees they have? 70. So imagine each individual contributing to the value of the company, and all what they do is transformation to the digital transformation. And so it's not a business hype, it's a realistic. If you don't take it seriously, a big impact could happen to your corporation. So with this, we could move to the next question, but we're done, huh? One more short questions.
Assalamu alaikum. Muhammad Adlani,
مرحبتين.
Enterprise Architect in the Technical and Vocational Training Corporation.
مرحبتين.
I will bring to the table a practical experience with the digital transformation. We started 2 years ago with ambitious plan to transform the core business of TVTC in order to deliver the training, diversified offering, diversified.
So the question is?
Diversified population. And we face a major problem is when you take a global and holistic approach, usually you stuck with people want to see tangible things and quick wins.
Okay.
My question is, isn't a wise decision to move in tactical approach, a pure tactical approach, narrow scope on small projects, focus on small benefits and value added, then follow the snowball effects rather than to start thinking big and maybe land with struggling with a huge vision to transform the business using the technology.
So if I could repeat your question, is it viable to start small, tactical, rather than a big bang or a wider vision? So Walid, would you?
I absolutely agree. I mean, boiling the ocean, as Fadi mentioned, is going to be very unlikely to succeed, especially, and let's differentiate between two things. If you're a greenfield, and very few of us actually come from a greenfield or are building a new, and even in a greenfield, but it's even more difficult in a brownfield or an existing environment to do a very significant or very large-scale type of transformation. You need to pick, and the reason for that is not because of the technology. It's because of the intellectual property and the learning curve, the mind shift that we have to go through to actually build that kind or deliver that kind of transformation. And I will give you a practical example similar to what you have mentioned. In one of the large banks, they wanted to build new digital apps, all right? There was no real deep discussions with the business on the business priorities and what are the immediate service that they need to provide. B, when they started developing digital native cloud applications, although they wanted to do the agile and all the sprints and all these kind of things, their culture, they were not culturally ready for that. They were still insisting on the regulations of testing after developing and then releasing to the production.
Same methodology.
It's exactly the same waterfall approach that they used to apply on the traditional application. And it simply failed. So as Nigel said, you need to actually probably create a smaller group of innovators, focus on a smaller initiative, create that success, learn how you can actually achieve it, and then build on that success by dividing your initiatives or your plan into small pieces that can be achieved. Baby steps are much more efficient and likely to succeed than the boiling the ocean approach.
Now, with this note, I mean,